As I was listening to the conversation between Michelle and her colleague, I could really understand where they were coming from. This is actually the first year that my corporation has integrated professional development on a weekly basis. Therefore, it seems that we are expected to integrate all the new things that we learn. I constantly hear that buzz from the other educators that feel the same frustration as Michelle and her other staff. The first thing that I would tell Michelle and her colleague is to take baby steps. And the reason I say that is because if you remember the reason why universal design came about, it was the fact that access points to buildings were just not accessible to everyone. And now, because of technology and innovative ideas from architects over the decades, more people benefit from these designs. It wasn't just the person who needed the wheelchair access. It's people who use strollers, shopping carts, or even people with minor health issues or physical disabilities. The same concept rings true for curriculum, and as Carol Ann Tomlinson stated, to be really good at differentiation, we need to work at it throughout our entire career. After all, the new designs of buildings and access points to them did not happen overnight. So we as educators need to work on things without trying to change the world, just as Ms. Tomlinson stated. We need to look at our curriculum as a whole and realize that technology plays a huge role in allowing that flexibility as the UDL principles advise. When you're flexible in your curriculum, the students benefit. And according to these UDL principles, you can meet the needs of diverse learners by finding the interests of the students, their learning styles, and especially their specific needs. When you look at UDL and differentiating instruction, technology plays a crucial role in enhancing that learning. Carol Ann Tomlinson also said to look at that target. And what is it that the students need to know? What is it that the students need to understand? And what do they need to do? So when we take a look at technology and use that in multiple ways, as advised with the UDL principles, it will help them get there to that target. Just one example in my classroom that I would share is, I'm flexible with how the information is presented in my classroom because I have such a varying group of abilities and interests in my room. And I also have a student who has a hearing impairment who also reads at a very low level. So I like to provide the audiovisual version of our leveled readers so that not only this student has the ability to read the book with highlighted text, but he also can listen to the story for his hearing impairment. I allow for my students to choose the format in which they want to read. So even though that this online component to our reading series does benefit my student with a hearing impairment, I know that it's also going to pique the interest of the others when they can make that choice. I also give them a tic-tac-toe choice workstation sheet, and I also display this on our projector screen so that the students can choose different stations, such as reading to themselves, reading to a friend, or even getting to the online audio component of the book. When students get to the comprehension assignment, they have the option to submit that assignment to me via Google Docs, or they can also do it on the traditional version of paper. I also like to give my students the choice, but I also want to meet the needs of all my students, not just based on their interests, but also their learning styles. Technology is really a tool that works with UDL principles, and it makes differentiating to all students so much easier for the teachers.